I wipe blood from my wrist with a Harbor Street pantry dish towel. Hearing ambulance sirens sweep past the loading dock. Nobody here knows the man who just hit me is my mother's new husband, but the people I serve tonight know exactly who I am. He thinks I'm just another IT support girl with a cheap headset. He doesn't know that every night I write down the names of people his systems can never control: an investigative journalist, a retired state auditor, a legal aid attorney, and the man who runs the neighborhood security cameras. When he cornered me to co-sign his fraudulent loan, I said no and took the hit. He doesn't know my no will open a pipeline he never imagined. My name is Laurel Hayes, and I've been running the Tuesday night shift at Harbor Street Pantry for 3 years. The fluorescent lights hum above rows of canned protein and boxed grains as I scan food cards, the beep of the reader marking each family's weekly allotment. It's 8:47 p.m., 13 minutes before close, and the line still stretches to the door. Then I see him. Hank Mercer pushes through the intake area, his construction boots leaving mud prints on our clean linoleum. My stepfather shouldn't be here. He knows my schedule, avoids this place like it's beneath him, but tonight he's carrying a manila folder, and his jaw has that tight set that means he's been drinking. "Need to talk to you," he mutters. Grabbing my elbow, I pull away. Keep scanning. Mrs. Rodriguez is waiting with her 3 kids. "I'm working. Just sign these real quick." He shoves papers at me, refinancing documents, a car loan application. My name is already filled in, my social security number typed in neat boxes. "Your mom needs this, for the house." I glance at the signature line. There's already a signature there, my signature, except I've never seen these documents before. "I'm not signing anything." I hand Mrs. Rodriguez her allocation slip. "Next, please." Hank's grip finds my wrist, right there by the cold storage door. "Don't embarrass me, girl." Let go. The hit comes fast, not a dramatic swing, but a sharp jab to my ribs that doubles me over. Cans crash to the floor. My wrist twists against the door handle, and there's blood. Not much, but enough to stain the dish towel I grab. I slam the intercom button. "Sienna, need you at Station 3. Hank's already backing away. "Think about your mom," he says, then disappears through the exit. Sienna Park rushes over with security, but I wave them off. "Just slipped," I say. Clumsy, the security guard doesn't buy it, but Sienna knows better than to push when we have clients waiting. I steady myself, turn back to the line. The last few clients are familiar faces, people I've served for months, some for years. Marta Quinn slides her legal aid identification across the counter along with her food card. She's been coming here since her firm cut positions, doing pro bono work to keep her license active. "You okay, honey?" she asks, lawyer eyes catching everything. "Fine." I scan her card, load her box. Behind her, Mr. Alder waits with his usual patience. Retired state auditor, always in the same brown coat. He glances at the papers Hank dropped, now scattered on my counter. "That signature looks odd," he says quietly, adjusting his glasses. "The pen pressure's all wrong." I look closer. He's right. It's my signature, but too perfect, like someone traced it from an old document. A memory surfaces 5 years ago, co-signing Mom's apartment lease when she left Dad. Those papers would have my signature. Hank would have access. Evan Lyle is watching from the newspaper rack, pretending to read our community bulletin. He's been investigating consumer fraud for the Ravensford Independent, started coming here after his freelance income dried up. His eyes track between me, the papers, and the exit Hank used. "Everything all right?" Omar Baines asks when he reaches the counter. He manages the security system for our whole block, knows every camera angle from here to downtown. "Yeah," I hand him his allocation. "Just a busy night?" But they all saw. They all know something's wrong. And as I watch them file out with their boxes, a lawyer, an auditor, a journalist, a security specialist, I realize Hank has no idea who he just performed for. The pantry's internal camera would have caught the whole thing. The street cameras Omar maintains would show Hank entering and leaving. Those forged documents are evidence now, scattered with my blood drops on the counter. I gather the papers carefully, noting the loan company's header Ravensford Credit Union, the same institution where Mr. Alder used to audit contracts, where Marta once reviewed predatory lending cases. Hank thinks I'm just some IT girl who volunteers at a food bank. He doesn't know that every Tuesday night, I serve a roster of professionals who've fallen on hard times but haven't lost their expertise. He doesn't know that when you hurt someone at Harbor Street Pantry, you hurt someone who belongs to a community that knows how to fight back. My ribs throb as I lock up, but I'm not thinking about the pain. I'm thinking about that signature too perfect, too familiar. I'm thinking about what else might be out there with my name on it. And I'm thinking about tomorrow, when I'll walk into Ravensford Credit Union and start asking questions. Nick Alvarez meets me at Ravensford Credit Union at 9 a.m. sharp. My half-brother doesn't ask about the bruise on my wrist. He just nods and holds the door. Nick's always been like that. Neutral, but fair. The kind of person who shows up when it matters. Personal banking records, I tell the manager, sliding my ID across the marble counter. Everything under my social security number. The manager types, frowns, types more. You have quite a bit of activity. I have one checking account. Yes, but there are several loan applications, 3 in the last 6 months. She turns the monitor. Did you apply for a home equity line of credit last Tuesday? My stomach drops. Last Tuesday I was debugging server issues at North Crown Systems until midnight. I need copies of everything. She prints stack after stack. Nick and I spread them across a corner table. The applications are perfect forgeries, my information, my employment history, even my mother's address as collateral. But the digital signatures all trace back to the same IP address. That's Mom's router, Nick says, recognizing the numbers. I set it up last Christmas. The submission timestamps tell a story always between 2 to 4 p.m., when Mom's at her hospital cafeteria job and I'm at North Crown, when only Hank would be home. There's more, the manager says, returning with a folder. This rejection letter from 3 months ago for an auto loan you supposedly applied for. I scan it. Denied for insufficient credit history. Sent to Mom's address. I never saw this. Mom gets home first, Nick says quietly. She sorts the mail. We leave with 2 inches of documentation. Nick drives us to the county records office, a limestone building that smells like old paper and floor wax. The clerk knows him. Nick's contracting firm renovated their break room last year. Civil cases, Nick requests. Anything involving Hank or Diane Mercer. She returns with a thin folder that tells everything. 3 years ago, Hank faced fraud charges, bad checks to suppliers, falsified invoices. The case disappeared after he entered a financial rehabilitation program and paid restitution, $15,000, deposited from a joint account. Mom's retirement fund, Nick says. She cashed it out that year, said it was for house repairs. But the real revelation is in the program documentation. Hank's counselor notes describe a pattern of using family members' credit without consent and recommend ongoing monitoring of financial boundaries. He's done this before, I say. To his ex-wife, Nick reads, she's listed as a creditor, Tampa, Florida. We copy everything. Back in the parking lot, Nick leans against his truck. You know what this means? It's not just you, it's Mom, too. Her credit, her savings, her house. She knows, I say. That rejection letter proved it. She's been covering for him. Or she's scared. Of what he doesn't. I stop. We both know Hank's smart enough not to leave bruises where they show. It doesn't matter. I'm done being his credit score. That afternoon, I file my first police report. Not for assault that would be his word against mine, but for identity theft, fraud, forgery. Officer Martinez takes my statement, examines the documents. The IP address helps, she says, but we'll need more. Can you get him to admit anything? Maybe. I think of Marta Quinn's business card in my pocket. I might know someone who can help. I call Marta that evening. She answers on the second ring, and I can hear dishes clattering she's washing up after dinner. It's Laurel, from the pantry. I was hoping you'd call. Her voice shifts to lawyer mode. That wasn't a slip yesterday. No. And those papers weren't legitimate. No. I can help, pro bono. But first, document everything. Photos of injuries, copies of all fraudulent applications, timeline of events. Can you do that? Already started. Good. Now, here's what people don't understand about financial abuse. It's not just about money, it's about control. He's been building a paper trail that makes you financially dependent on him and your mother. If you fight back, he can claim you're unstable, that you agreed to everything. So what do? We turn his own game against him, document, verify, substantiate, and Laurel. That community you serve every Tuesday we talk. Mr. Alder already called me about analyzing those signatures. Evan wants to investigate the lending patterns. Omar mentioned something about security footage. I realize what she's saying. While I was serving food, they were building a network. The banker's rejection of Hank's latest application wasn't random. Someone had flagged the pattern. He thinks we're nobodies, Marta continues. Let him keep thinking that. Meanwhile, we'll build a case that would make a federal prosecutor weep with joy. That night, I create my first evidence file screenshots of every timestamp, photos of my wrist, scans of forged signatures. I title it simply, Proof. Tomorrow, I'll go back to the pantry, I'll serve my regular clients, and piece by piece, we'll dismantle the careful fraud Hank Mercer has built on my name. He has no idea what's coming. Tuesday night arrives faster than expected. I'm at my station early, but the usual pre-opening routine feels different. Sienna pulls me aside before we open the doors. I wrote up the incident report from last week, she says, handing me a copy on Harbor Street pantry letterhead. Official documentation, time-stamped, witnessed, just in case you need it. The doors open at 6. My regular clients filter in. But tonight, there's an undercurrent of purpose in their movements. Marta Quinn arrives first, sliding a business card across the counter with her food card. My direct cell, she says. I've cleared my schedule for your case. Also, I pulled some precedents on identity theft crossing state lines. Hank's ex-wife in Florida. That makes this federal. Mr. Alder is next, carrying a manila folder of his own. I spent 30 years catching document fraud for the state, he says quietly. These signatures, amateur work. See here. He points to a photocopy. Real signatures vary in pressure and speed. These are traced, probably from a light box or computer screen. The consistency gives it away. He's prepared a full analysis overlay comparisons, pressure point mapping, even a timeline showing how the forgeries evolved. He's getting sloppier. The recent ones barely try to hide the tracing marks. This is incredible, I say. It's what I do, he shrugs. Still do? Apparently. Evan Lyle approaches with his notebook, visible a signal he's in journalist mode. I've been researching Ravensford Credit Union's lending practices. They've had 17 similar fraud cases in 2 years, all targeting family members, none prosecuted. They just write them off. Why? Bad PR. Easier to absorb the loss than admit their verification system is broken. But if someone were to, say, make this a public pattern, he grins. That's a story that writes itself. Omar Baines waits until the line thins before approaching. Pulled the security footage from last Tuesday, he says, voice low. My cameras caught your stepfather entering at 8:31, leaving at 8:52. Clear shots of his face, his vehicle, license plate, also caught him tossing something in the dumpster behind Rosario's restaurant. What was it? Looked like paperwork. Might still be there. Rosario's only empties their dumpster on Thursdays. I process this. Evidence in a dumpster. Waiting. Can you save those files? Already backed up in 3 locations. And Laurel? My system caught something else. He came back, sat in his car watching the pantry until you left, followed you for 6 blocks before turning off. My skin crawls. Marta catches my expression. Stalking behavior. Document it. Time, date, duration. It establishes a pattern of intimidation. The night continues. Each client brings something: advice, connections, expertise. Mrs. Chen from the church Offers to verify my volunteer hours for the past 3 years. Establishing character, Devon, who works dispatch for the local ambulance service, confirms they had a call logged for this address last Tuesday, but were canceled en route. Even quiet Mr. Thompson, who rarely speaks, slips me a note. My nephew works AT at the credit union. He says to check the metadata on uploaded documents. By closing time, I have a network I never knew existed. Sienna helps me lock up, then surprises me. Staff meeting, she announces. But it's just us in the break room with coffee and the industrial cookies we save for volunteers. Harbor Street protects its own, she says. You've been here every Tuesday for 3 years. Never missed a shift. Never complained. Never judged anyone who came through those doors. You think that goes unnoticed? I just serve food. No, she leans forward. You serve dignity. You remember names, dietary restrictions, who's struggling with diabetes, whose kids have allergies. Mrs. Rodriguez told me you learned enough Spanish to explain the nutrition labels to her. Mr. Alder mentioned you helped him apply for his pension benefits online during a slow night. Anyone would. No, they wouldn't. And now these people want to help you. Let them. Thursday morning, I file an official police report with Officer Martinez. This time, I bring Marta, who's transformed into full attorney mode pressed suit, leather briefcase, voice that fills the room. My client is filing charges for identity theft, fraud, assault, and stalking. She states, "We have documentary evidence, video surveillance, witness statements, and forensic document analysis." Martinez looks at the stack we've assembled. This is thorough. My client's community takes care of their own, Marta says simply. We spend 2 hours giving statements. Omar's footage is damning Hank's face clear as day. The assault visible through the pantry's window. Mr. Alder's signature analysis is detailed enough for court. Evan's research shows a pattern of behavior. Even the dumpster behind Rosario's yields results shredded loan applications with my forged signature. Hank's fingerprints all over them. We'll move forward with charges, Martinez confirms, but he'll likely bail out quickly. You should consider a protective order. Already drafting it, Marta says. That afternoon, my phone rings. Mom, what have you done? Her voice is strained. Careful. Hank must be listening. What I should have done 3 years ago. You don't understand. He's not well. The stress of being unemployed. He made mistakes, but... Mom, he's been stealing my identity. Your identity too. Probably. Check your credit report. Silence. Then, quieter. I can't. Why? The passwords are all changed. He handles the finances now. Says it's easier. My heart sinks. She's more trapped than I thought. Mom, I can help. The people at the pantry. Those people. Her voice shifts. Harsher. Definitely performing for Hank now. You're embarrassing us with this. Just sign the papers. For family. No. The line goes dead. But I have what I need, her admission that she can't access her own accounts. Marta calls it financial imprisonment. Another charge to add. That night, I update my evidence file. It's no longer just proof. Now it's the people v. Hank Mercer, because it's not just my fight anymore. It's Harbor Street Pantry against a predator who made the mistake of hurting one of their own. He thought I was alone. He was wrong. Saturday morning. I wake to 17 missed calls. Mom, I don't call back. Instead, I text Nick. She's trying again. His response is immediate. Stay strong. BTW. My truck tires got slashed last night. I check my own car. Everything looks fine until I spot the note under the windshield wiper. Family stays quiet. No signature needed. I photograph it. Text the image to Marta and Officer Martinez. Keep all originals, Marta texts back. Witness intimidation is a felony. At work Monday, I'm called into HR. Someone sent an anonymous email to North Crown Systems claiming I'm mentally unstable and filing false police reports. They've attached public records from my parents' divorce 15 years ago, documents that require serious digging to find. We have to investigate all complaints, HR manager Sandra explains, looking uncomfortable. But honestly, this reads like retaliation. It is. I hand her Marta's business card and a copy of the police report. My attorney can provide documentation. Also, I'd like to file for workplace protection. There's a stalking component to my case. Sandra's expression shifts. Of course, we take employee safety seriously. I'll loop in corporate security. By lunch, I have a security escort to my car and a new temporary badge that doesn't display my last name. North Crown's legal team wants copies of everything they don't like external threats to their employees. Tuesday at the pantry. Word has spread. The regular clients create a subtle protection detail. Mr. Thompson stations himself by the entrance. Devin monitors the parking lot. Mrs. Rodriguez's teenage son shadows me to my car. I've never felt safer surrounded by people society writes off as needy. Evan pulls me aside. Got an interesting call. Hank's been approaching contractors, claiming he has a big project starting soon, paying deposits with credit cards. Want to guess whose name is on the applications? My blood runs cold. He's escalating. Or desperate. Martinez must be closing in. That night, Mom finally texts, "Please stop this. He says he'll pay back everything if you drop charges." I screenshot it. Admission of guilt. Delivered directly to my phone. Marta calls it a gift. Wednesday brings Hank's response to the protective order filing. He's representing himself badly. Claims I'm hysterical and making up stories for attention, but he can't explain the surveillance footage or the forensic evidence. He filed something else, Marta tells me over coffee. A claim that you owe him rent for the times you stayed at your mother's house last year. 3 nights? When she had surgery? He's documented it as 3 months, at $800 per month, forged a rental agreement. I actually laugh. He's creating more evidence against himself. Criminals often do when cornered. She slides a document across. Speaking of which, I found his ex-wife. She's willing to testify via video link. Same pattern: identity theft, escalating control, financial strangulation. She got out when he tried to take a life insurance policy on her. Thursday afternoon, I get a call from Ravensford Credit Union. They've frozen all accounts associated with my Social Security number pending investigation. The representative sounds nervous. We've also noticed unusual activity on accounts belonging to Diane Mercer, she says carefully. Multiple applications submitted from the same IP address. Has she authorized Mr. Mercer to... She needs help, I interrupt. She can't access her own accounts. I see. We'll make note of that. After work, I find Nick at Mom's house, installing new locks. Mom hovers in the doorway, wringing her hands. Laurel's orders, Nick lies smoothly. Protective order covers the whole family. Hank's truck pulls up. He sees Nick's contractor van, the locksmith logo, and keeps driving. But not before I catch his expression: cornered animal, calculating. He'll come back later, Mom whispers. Let him, Nick says. These locks record entry attempts, timestamp, video, everything. Laurel's treat. Mom looks at me, then really looks. The insurance called. About a fire claim I didn't file. Let me guess. Small fire in the garage. Just enough to destroy financial documents. She nods, tears starting. I can't. He said he'd ruin my credit if I didn't support him. Said no one would rent to me at my age. Mom, I hand her Marta's card. She helps people like us, like you. I'm not like those people at your food bank. Those people include a lawyer, a state auditor, and an investigative journalist, also teachers, nurses, contractors, and small business owners hit by bad luck or bad people. Those people are saving us both. She takes the card with shaking fingers. That night, Hank sends a text from a burner phone. Last chance. Drop it all, or I tell everyone about your dad. I stare at it. Dad died when I was 12. Lung cancer from years of factory work. What could Hank possibly Then I realize he's inventing dirt, the way he invents signatures, creating a story he thinks will shame me into silence. I forward the threat to Martinez, Marta, and the county prosecutor who's taken interest in our case. Let him dig his hole deeper. Omar texts at midnight. Movement at your mom's. Hank tried the back door. Couldn't get in. Got it all on video. He kicked their garden gnome assault on lawn decor. It's absurd enough to make me smile. Hank the mastermind. Defeated by upgraded locks and a neighborhood watch of food bank volunteers. Friday morning, Marta calls early. The prosecutor wants to meet. Today. Bring everything. Good news. Depends on your definition. They're offering Hank a plea deal, 18 months minimum, full restitution, permanent protective order, or he can fight it and face federal charges when Florida gets involved. What do you think? I think he's too arrogant to take it. I think he'll demand a trial, and I think we'll bury him. I agree. Hank Mercer doesn't believe in consequences. He's about to learn otherwise. The meeting is at 2. I'll wear my North Crown ID badge, the one with Corporate Security's direct line. I'll bring the binder Marta helped me prepare. Every tab labeled, every document notarized. I'll sit across from the prosecutor and tell the truth that a man tried to steal my identity and found out I wasn't alone. He thought I was nobody. He was wrong. I'm somebody who serves dinner every Tuesday to people who remember kindness. That's worth more than any credit score. The prosecutor's meeting yields unexpected results. ADA. Catherine Walsh reviews our evidence with the intensity of someone who's seen too many domestic financial abuse cases go unprosecuted. We need him to incriminate himself further, she says. On record, undeniable. The forged signatures are good, but a confession would seal it. Marta leans forward. What about a controlled meeting, financial mediation with a cooperating lender? Walsh nods, if he'll bite. That evening, Marta and Mr. Alder architect the trap over coffee at the pantry. The plan is elegant, a fake mediation session at a legitimate financial consultant's office, someone who often works with law enforcement. I'll receive an official-looking letter about resolving disputed signatures on the recent loan applications. The consultant will suggest I need a family member to co-sign a resolution document. He won't be able to resist, Mr. Alder predicts. He'll see it as making you complicit, forcing you to authenticate his forgeries retroactively. The letter arrives at Mom's house Monday morning. She calls within an hour. Hank says you need to handle this situation. He'll drive you to the appointment. I can drive myself. He insists. Her voice cracks. Please, Laurel, just meet with these people. The appointment is set for Thursday at 4 p.m. Martinez arranges for hidden cameras with the consultant's cooperation. The office is small, professional, and wired like a federal courthouse. I arrive early, wearing business casual and the special pen Marta gave me loaded with UV reactive ink that will mark any document Hank touches. Mom's already there, clutching her purse like armor. Hank sprawls in a chair, confident. Let's get this sorted, he says to the consultant, a mild-mannered man named Dr. Friedman who specializes in financial forensics. Simple misunderstanding. Family helping family. Dr. Friedman nods patiently. I see. Mr. Mercer, can you explain these signatures? Sure. Hank launches into his performance. Laurel's been helping with family expenses. Sometimes she's busy with work, so she lets me handle the paperwork. Right. Laurel. I say nothing. She's shy, Hank continues, but she's authorized everything, haven't you? No. His face tightens. Don't be difficult. Tell the man how we discussed the car loan. We never discussed anything. Doctor, Friedman slides a paper across. This is interesting. A loan application from last Tuesday. Ms. Hayes, where were you at 2:47 p.m. that day? At work. North Crown Systems. They can verify. But this shows the application was submitted from your mother's home IP address. Hank jumps in. She works from home sometimes. I don't have remote access. Company policy. Doctor, Friedman produces more documents. Mr. Mercer, you seem very familiar with Ms. Hayes's financial details, her social security number, previous addresses, employment history. I'm her stepfather. Family knows these things. Do you know them well enough to replicate her signature? The room stills. Hank's jaw works. That's a serious accusation. It's a simple question. Dr. Friedman slides a blank paper across with the UV pen. Could you show me how Laurel signs her name for comparison purposes? That's ridiculous. You just said she authorizes you to handle paperwork. Surely you've seen her signature many times. Mom shifts in her seat. She knows something's off but can't place it. Hank grabs the pen, the marked one. Fine. It's like this. He draws my signature with practiced ease. Too practiced. The movements are mechanical, memorized. Interesting, Dr. Friedman murmurs. Now, Ms. Hayes, could you sign below that? I take a different pen and sign naturally quicker, messier, with the little tail on the Y that Hank never quite captures. These don't match, Dr. Friedman observes. She's doing it wrong on purpose, Hank snaps. He grabs the UV pen again, signs my name 3 more times in rapid succession, each one identical, each one damning. See, this is how she signs. I've seen it hundreds of times. You've practiced it hundreds of times, I correct quietly. His face goes red. You ungrateful. He catches himself. I'm trying to help this family. Your mother needed money. You have good credit. What's the harm in using what we have? The harm, Dr. Friedman says calmly, is that it's federal fraud. Hank stands abruptly. We're done here. Actually, Dr. Keith Friedman continues, I need to inform you that this session is being recorded as part of an ongoing investigation. The color drains from Hank's face. He looks at Mom, at me, at the door. You set me up. His voice is dangerous. You set yourself up, I reply. Every forged signature, every fraudulent application, every threat. He lunges toward the table, not at me, but at the documents. Dr. Friedman hits a button. Security enters immediately. Don't touch anything. Mr. Mercer, these are evidence now. Hank's hands are glowing faintly under the office lights covered in UV reactive ink from the pen. His fingerprints on every surface he touched, marking him like a neon sign reading guilty. Mom starts crying, relief or grief. I can't tell. Diane, Dr. Friedman says gently, we have resources for identity theft victims. You're one too. As security escorts Hank out, he turns to me. Your mom will lose everything without me. No, I say. She'll lose everything with you. We're done losing. The door closes. Mom reaches for my hand, tentative, like she's not sure she's allowed. The house papers, she whispers. He made me sign something about the house last month. Dr. Friedman nods. We'll look into that too. Identity restoration can include property fraud. We sit there, 3 people and a stack of evidence that glows under blacklight. Every page Hank touched is marked. Every lie documented. Marta texts. Walsh says it's enough. Federal charges forthcoming. I show Mom the message. She squeezes my hand tighter. Those people from your food bank, she says quietly, they really helped. Every one of them. Maybe I could volunteer too, when this is over. I think of Sienna's words, Harbor Street protects its own. Maybe Mom needs protecting too. Maybe she always did. And I was too angry to see it. Tuesday nights, I tell her. We always need more hands. Evan Lyle's article drops on Sunday morning, not in the Ravensford Independent's print edition online first, where it can spread like wildfire through social media before Hank's lawyer can even think about an injunction. The headline reads, The Signature Scam, How Financial Predators Target Their Own Families. My name isn't mentioned, neither is Mom's. Evan calls us Family A and focuses on the pattern's 17 similar cases at Ravensford Credit Union alone, all involving family members, none prosecuted until now. He quotes Mr. Alder extensively as a forensic document expert. Marta appears as a local attorney specializing in financial abuse cases. The article includes redacted images of forged signatures, UV ink evidence photos, and a sidebar about how viewers can check their own credit reports for suspicious activity. Within 6 hours, it has 50,000 shares and climbing. My phone buzzes all morning. Sienna, 3 new volunteers signed up for the pantry after reading this. They all mentioned identity theft in their intake forms. Omar. News van just pulled up at your mom's house. Sent them away. Told them the family needs privacy. Nick. Hank's sister called me. She's flying in from Colorado. Says she has things to discuss with prosecutors. By noon, Evan texts, editor wants a follow-up piece. Ravensford Credit Union just announced they're reviewing all family-related loan applications from the past 5 years. The response avalanches. A Facebook group forms Ravensford Identity Theft Survivors. The local news picks it up. Then regional. Someone creates a change. Org petition demanding stronger laws against familial financial abuse. It hits 10,000 signatures by evening. Monday brings corporate panic. Ravensford Credit Union's PR team releases a statement about strengthening verification procedures and supporting affected families. They conveniently forget to mention years of ignoring the pattern. They're scared, Marta tells me over lunch. Hank's going to be the scapegoat for their systemic failures, which works in our favor. They'll cooperate fully with prosecution to shift blame. But Hank isn't going quietly. Tuesday afternoon, as I'm prepping for pantry night, a new article appears on a sketchy citizen journalist blog, Local Woman's Vendetta Against Stepfather, the Truth They Don't Want You to Know. It's poorly written, clearly rushed, but venomous, claims I'm mentally unstable, vengeful about my parents' divorce, targeting a hard-working family man trying to make ends meet. There's even a grainy photo of me at the pantry, framed to look secretive rather than charitable. Don't respond, Evan advises. I know who runs that blog. He publishes anything for $500. This has Hank's desperation all over it. He's right. Within hours, the blog post backfires spectacularly. Harbor Street Pantry's social media, usually dormant, erupts with testimonials from clients I've served. Mrs. Rodriguez posts about how I helped her son with his college applications during slow nights. Devin shares how I covered his shift when his daughter was in the hospital. Mr. Thompson breaks his usual silence to write a paragraph about dignity and service. The hashtag Team Laurel trends locally. Someone creates hashtag Hank's Lies as a counter-movement. The blog post gets ratioed into oblivion. Wednesday. Walsh calls with an update. His lawyer is floating a plea deal, 24 months, full restitution, lifetime financial restraining order. He's also willing to testify about 3 other people running similar schemes apparently. There's a whole network. A network. They share techniques, target lists, even template documents. Your Mr. Alder's analysis helped us identify signature patterns across multiple cases. The pantry that night feels different. Word has spread through our regulars about the article, the case, the community response. People I've served for years look at me differently, not with pity, but with recognition. We're all fighting something. Tonight, they're fighting for me. Marta brings printed copies of the positive responses to Evan's article. Evidence of character, she says, for sentencing. Mr. Alder has compiled a report showing how Hank's forgeries connect to 6 other cases. Pattern recognition, he explains proudly. Still got it. Even quiet, Mr. Thompson speaks up. My granddaughter saw the article. She's checking her credit now. Found 3 cards she didn't open. Thank you. Thursday morning, Evan publishes his follow-up. Community response overwhelms identity theft, survivor support groups. He profiles 3 other families coming forward, all crediting the original article with giving them courage to report. He includes helpline numbers, legal resources, and step-by-step guides for documenting financial abuse. The piece goes wider than the first. National pickup. Evan texts, CNN wants to interview you, anonymously, if preferred. I decline. This was never about fame. It was about stopping Hank. That afternoon, Ravensford Credit Union calls. They're offering to cover all legal fees and provide free credit monitoring for life to anyone affected by their oversight. They're also implementing new policies, mandatory in-person verification for family member applications, biometric signatures, and AI-powered fraud detection. Too little, too late, Marta observes. But it'll help future victims. Friday brings the inevitable Hank's blog post has been deleted after multiple violations of terms of service, but screenshots circulate among his few supporters. Someone creates a parody version replacing his lies with court documents. The memes are brutal but accurate. His lawyer calls Marta. They'll take the plea deal. With one condition, I have to agree not to pursue civil charges. Absolutely not, I tell her. He doesn't get to negotiate with my future. Good. I told him the same thing in more colorful language. Mom texts that night. Saw the articles. I'm proud of you. Also terrified, but mostly proud. Saturday morning, 1 week after Evan's first article, I wake to find my story has become bigger than my story. It's about everyone who's been told to stay quiet for the family. Everyone who's been made complicit in their own exploitation. Everyone who's been convinced they're alone. Evan sends a final text, check your email. It's a PDF of Sunday's feature story. A full investigation into financial identity theft within families, featuring interviews with experts, survivors, and advocates. My case is just one example among many, exactly as it should be. At the bottom, in italics, if you're experiencing financial abuse from a family member, you're not alone. Resources below. The list includes Harbor Street Pantry's financial counseling services, a program that didn't exist last week, but will launch Tuesday, staffed by volunteers with expertise in fraud, law, and recovery. And Hank wanted to silence me. Instead, he gave me a megaphone, and my community made sure everyone heard it. The invitation arrives at my apartment on Monday, embossed letterhead that screams respectability. Rebuild Ravensford Charity Gala, an evening of community partnership. The sick feeling hits when I see the organizing committee. Third name down, Hank Mercer, co-chair of Outreach. Marta calls within minutes. Did you see? I saw. He's scrambling, trying to rehabilitate his image before sentencing. The prosecutor's already aware this actually helps our case, shows consciousness of guilt. But knowing it's desperate doesn't make it less insulting. My abuser, playing philanthropist, using charity as a shield. There's more, Marta continues. Walsh got word that several city council members received donations from Hank last week. Small amounts, just under reporting limits. He's trying to buy respectability. Tuesday at the pantry, word has already spread. Evan shows me the gala's website. Hank's bio describes him as a local businessman committed to strengthening family bonds in our community. The irony burns. I'm covering it, Evan says. Editor insisted. It's Thursday night. I know. The invitation burns in my bag. I'll be there. Marta tries to talk me out of it. So does Nick. Even Sienna suggests it might be triggering, but they don't understand. This is my chance to end it properly, not in a courtroom or newspaper, but face-to-face, in his arena. I spend Wednesday preparing with the same precision I use for pantry inventory. Walsh confirms the arrest warrant will be ready. They've been waiting for Hank to appear publicly. Omar volunteers his cameras for additional documentation. Mr. Alder insists on attending as my +1. Moral support, he says firmly, and I clean up nice. Thursday arrives cold and clear. I dress carefully professional black dress, the kind I wear to North Crown's corporate events. No victim costume, no drama, just presence. The Ravensford Civic Center glitters with fake elegance. Hank's positioned himself near the entrance, glad-handing arrivals. Mom stands beside him in a dress I've never seen, smiling the hollow smile I remember from bad Christmases. He sees me before I see him. His face cycles through emotions: surprise, anger, calculation. Then he plasters on his public smile. Laurel, so glad you could support the cause. I don't take his extended hand. Hello, Hank? The people behind me shift uncomfortably. Mr. Alder touches my elbow steady. Present, around us. I spot familiar faces, not the city council members Hank expected, but pantry regulars in their best clothes. Mrs. Rodriguez near the donation table. Devon by the silent auction. They came. They all came. Inside, Hank works the room like a politician, Mom trailing silently. The cognitive dissonance is stunning watching him charm people while knowing what's coming. Evan's already here. Press badge visible. Camera crew setting up for the speeches. At 8 sharp, Hank takes the podium. He's prepared remarks about strengthening our community fabric and supporting families in crisis. Each word is perfectly chosen to counter the accusations against him. I've learned so much about the importance of trust, he says, looking directly at me. Sometimes families face challenges, misunderstandings, but with love and patience, I stand. Not dramatically, just rise from my seat and walk to the front. Mr. Alder beside me. The room quiets. Excuse me, the MC stammers. We're not taking questions yet. I don't go to the podium. Instead, I stop at the donation table and place an envelope in the lockbox. Then I turn to face the room. I'm donating tonight in honor of every person who's had their identity stolen by someone they trusted. Every person told to keep quiet for the family. Every person made to feel crazy for saying no. Hank grips the podium. This isn't the time. You're right. I pull out a second envelope thicker, sealed. Which is why I brought this. I don't give it to him. I hand it to the MC, loud enough for the room to hear, evidence documentation for the Ravensford police. They asked me to deliver it personally. The side door opens. Walsh enters with 2 officers. The press crew's cameras swing toward them, then back to Hank, whose public face finally cracks. You vindictive little... Mr. Mercer, Walsh's voice cuts through. We have a warrant for your arrest, fraud, identity theft, witness intimidation, and violation of a protective order by organizing this event to contact your victim. The room erupts, cameras flash, Mom sinks into a chair, but the pantry regulars stand perfectly still, witnessing. They understand justice served cold. Hank tries to run, actually run, in a room full of witnesses. He makes it 3 steps before Omar and Devon casually block his path. Not touching, just present. 2 food bank clients in borrowed suits, worth more than his false charity. The officers cuff him as Evan's camera rolls. Someone from the back sounds like Mrs. Rodriguez starts slow clapping. Others join. Not celebration, but acknowledgement. The community seeing clearly. As they lead Hank past me, he hisses, "You've ruined everything." "No," I reply, calm as Tuesday night inventory. "You ruined everything. I just documented it." Mom appears at my elbow as the officers exit. "The house papers," she whispers. "I found more. In his car." I hug her quick, fierce. "Give them to Marta. Every page helps." The gala dissolves into chaos. City council members flee. Donors demand refunds. But the pantry regulars converge on me, quiet and supportive. Mr. Alder chuckles softly. "Well, that was satisfying. Thank you for coming." Wouldn't have missed it. He surveys the destroyed gala with satisfaction. Though I think Sienna needs help at the actual pantry, real charity doesn't stop for fake ones. He's right. As the Civic Center empties, our group drifts toward the exit. Tomorrow there will be headlines, court dates, legal complexity, but tonight is still Tuesday, and there are people to serve. I leave the invitation on my chair, evidence for Evan's story. The envelope in the donation box contains a real check. Made out to Harbor Street Pantry. Let Hank's fake charity fund a real one. In the parking lot, Mom catches up. Can I really volunteer Tuesday? First shift starts at 6. We'll teach you everything. She nods, then surprises me. I'm proud of you for not letting him make you cruel. I think about that as we disperse to our cars. Hank wanted me silent or vicious, either would serve his narrative. Instead, I chose precision, documentation, community. That's the best revenge, not becoming what hurt you, just stopping it, cleanly and completely, with witnesses who understand the weight of justice served at exactly the right temperature. Friday morning arrives with the kind of quiet that follows storms. I'm at the courthouse early, Marta beside me, watching the expedited hearing unfold with mechanical precision. Hank's lawyer, a different one, Court appointed after the private attorney withdrew argues for bail. Walsh methodically destroys each point. Flight risk, she states, producing evidence. Mr. Mercer purchased a one-way ticket to Costa Rica for next Tuesday, paid with a credit card in his ex-wife's name. The judge's expression hardens. Bail denied. Defendant will remain in custody pending trial. Hank's shoulders slump. For the first time since I've known him, he looks small. The preliminary orders come swift immediate freeze on all assets pending investigation. Forensic audit of every account he's touched in 5 years. Restitution priority for victims. Ravensford. Credit union's lawyers hover at the back, eager to cooperate, to distance themselves from the scandal. Ms. Hayes, the judge addresses me directly. The court recognizes the courage required to pursue this matter. Your documentation has been exemplary. I nod, throat tight. Behind me, the courtroom gallery is packed pantry regulars, North Crown colleagues, strangers who followed the case. Mom sits with Nick, both watching Hank like he might evaporate. The Financial Crimes Unit presents their findings: 17 victims identified so far, over $400,000 in fraudulent applications, a paper trail spanning 3 states. Hank's network is unraveling, each member racing to make deals. The defendant will face federal charges, the prosecutor confirms. Multiple counts. We're looking at significant time. After the hearing, local news crews swarm. I push past them with practiced invisibility, a skill learned from 3 years of quiet service. Evan intercepts the questions, redirecting to the larger story of systematic financial abuse. That afternoon, Ravensford Credit Union calls. They're establishing a victim restitution fund, seeded with $2 million. They're also hiring Mr. Alder as a consultant to review their entire loan portfolio for fraud patterns. Retirement was boring anyway, he tells me over coffee. This gives me purpose, and a decent hourly rate. Mom meets with Marta separately, filing her own charges. The house saved by Nick's new locks and Omar's security footage will remain hers after the divorce. Hank's name comes off every document, every account, every trace of legal connection. 23 years, she tells me later. I gave him 23 years of looking the other way. You gave yourself a chance to look forward, I correct. That's what matters now. Tuesday comes like an old friend. At Harbor Street Pantry, something has changed. New volunteers crowd the orientation people who read about the case and decided to act. The financial counseling program launches with 3 volunteer advisors and a full appointment book. Mom shows up at 5:45 nervous in new jeans and the Harbor Street volunteer t-shirt I gave her. Where do I start? She asks Sienna. Anywhere help's needed, Sienna smiles. That's the beauty of this place. I watch Mom learn the inventory system, see her relax as she realizes nobody here judges past choices. Mrs. Rodriguez teaches her the produce sorting method. Devin shows her the coffee machine quirks. By 7, she's laughing at something Mr. Thompson whispered, the first real laugh I've heard from her in years. The night proceeds normally. Regular clients mixed with new faces, all receiving the same dignity, the same service. Nobody mentions the case, the articles, the arrest. Here, I'm just Laurel who knows everyone's dietary restrictions and remembers birthdays. Near closing, a young woman approaches hesitantly. Did you? My boyfriend's been using my credit cards. I saw your story. I hand her Marta's card and the new financial counseling brochure. You're not alone. Tuesday nights, we're all here. She tears up, clutches the resources like lifelines. Another survivor finding her voice. After cleanup, the volunteer crew lingers in the break room. Omar pulls up security footage on his phone. Not of crimes this time, but of the gala aftermath. There's Hank, stumbling to the police car. Reality finally catching up. There's the crowd of pantry regulars, standing witness in their best clothes. There's me, walking away clean. Frame that moment, Evan suggests. Pure karma in action. But I'm looking at different footage Mom's first night volunteering. her face gradually relaxing as she finds her place among people who understand starting over. "Next week's gonna be busy," Sienna announces. "The financial counseling program is booking into next month. 3 law firms offered pro bono hours. The community college wants to partner for identity protection workshops." Hank meant to destroy me with paper and signatures. Instead, he catalyzed something bigger, a network of support that didn't exist before. Couldn't exist until someone said no, loudly enough for others to hear. My phone buzzes. A text from Walsh. "Federal indictment filed. 67 counts. He'll serve real time." I share the news quietly. No celebration, just acknowledgement. Justice isn't revenge, it's prevention. Every year Hank spends locked up is a year he can't create new victims. "Who wants coffee?" Mom offers, already comfortable with the industrial machine. I'm making. Free coffee's one of the perks, right? We accept, gathering around the break room table like family, which, I realize, we are the family you choose, bonded by service and survival and Tuesday nights. Later, walking to our cars, Mr. Alder stops me. "You know what the best part is? He never saw it coming. Thought we were all beneath him, the food bank volunteers, the people needing help. Never occurred to him we were exactly who could stop him." He's right. Hank's blindness to our community's strength was his downfall. He saw need as weakness, missing the expertise, connections, and sheer determination that hardship breeds. Every person he dismissed became evidence. Every attempt to isolate me revealed another ally. Mom waits by her car, holding a box of leftover donations for the women's shelter. "Same time next week." "Every Tuesday," I confirm. She hugs me quick, awkward, but real. "Thank you for fighting, for showing me how." As I drive home, I pass the Civic Center where Hank's fake charity died. There's a new banner advertising next month's event. Harbor Street Pantry Spring Fundraiser, real service, real community. I think about Hank in federal lockup, no longer able to forge signatures or steal identities. About Mom, rebuilding at 61. About every survivor who'll walk into Harbor Street seeking help and finding it. About communities that protect their own, especially those society overlooks. He thought he broke me that night, bloodying my wrist over a forced signature. Instead, he reminded me who I serve, who serves alongside me, and why some things are worth fighting for, not with violence or cruelty, but with patience, documentation, and the quiet power of people who refuse to disappear. The best revenge isn't served cold or hot. It's served every Tuesday night at Harbor Street Pantry, one box of dignity at a time, surrounded by people who know that surviving isn't weakness, it's the strongest thing you can do. Thank you for listening to this story. I'd love to hear where you're listening from. Please share in the comments below, so we can connect and exchange thoughts about the story. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and hit the hype button to help more people discover this story.